Oh, we're live. I'm sorry. I didn't. Hey there, true believers, and welcome to episode 29 of the Marvel Mondays initiative here on the Penultimate Conquest. Today's topic is, of course, our discussion of Marvel's Eternals as part of our MCU Rewind series. And let me tell you, it's good to be back. I know we were on hiatus for a little while. We're back for the Eternals. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Christian Macias, your curator of cinema and host for the evening. Alongside me today, friendly neighborhood co-host of all things Marvel and Destiny, the newest dad in town, Eric C. Ginn. Hello, my friend. I've missed you.
Hey guys, what's up? That sound you hear in the background is Ruby. I decided to bring her on for the show. So yeah, I missed you guys.
Oh man, have we missed you?
Let's all say hello to Ruby in the chat or in the comments anywhere. Say welcome, Ruby, to this world. That other voice you heard rounding out the war table is, of course, our one and only director of operations, Ruben Guerrero. Hello.
Hello. And you know what, guys? Congratulations to Chloe Zhao for making the better version of Justice League. We all thought that the Snyder cut was the best cut, but we didn't even consider that Marvel was like, hold my beer.
Did you write this beforehand
Oh,
on your
I did.
phone
I
and
did.
prep a
No,
speech?
I read this. I wrote this in the theater after, like, during the credits.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today's going to be an interesting topic because I know Eric posted his thoughts on Twitter. He seemed to be pretty high on it. I think obviously most of us have a few issues that we'll talk about on the show. Um, but Ruben was like a wild card for me. I didn't know what he. Also, if you're watching on stream, Ruben is drinking a beer. This is all due to yesterday's extra live stream. We raised over $200 on stream, and by happenstance, if people donated 25 bucks, he would have the inclination to drink a beverage.
Yeah.
So he's catching up
All
on
right,
his right now.
guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go give Ruby to Mama.
Okay. Sounds good.
Of course, no worries. Yeah, but Ruben, you were the wild card for me. I like legit did not know if you were actually gonna like it or not.
Yeah.
And
And
so
neither did
I
I.
think you maybe did.
I did. I liked it a lot.
Okay,
Um,
good.
I was in the theater with Liz and Ella, and she was very tired. She has been working, and I like kind of like forced her to go to the movies with me and watch this just because I knew we had to do the show. But she was not so. This movie didn't do as well as it did for me with her. Hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, she was basically like, this movie was pretty much took a bunch of stuff that didn't need to be brought together, like
Mm,
history, I guess, like with Icarus and Xerxes being Cersei, all that stuff. She was not happy with how it went and just didn't think that this needed to be a movie. But I am glad that we got this movie. It was
yeah,
definitely, you had prepped me for this movie to be very different from all the other Marvel movies we've seen, and it really was very different. And I'm
I
okay
agree.
with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But first, we've got some stream and podcast updates. I want to hand the mic over to you, Ruben.
Okay. So we are still raising money for Extra Life, and all the donations are going to the Maria Ferrari Children's Hospital in Valhalla, New York. Yesterday we streamed Mario Party Superstars, and it got pretty wild. There was a discussion
That's a good
about
time.
a banana situation, but you can watch the VOD for that story. It's up on YouTube right now, and we'll be raising money all month long. So if you can, go donate. The link will be in the chat if you need it. Tomorrow on the Cross Media Show, we are doing a hype check for movies for the rest of the year, and somebody needs to help me out with trying to truncate that title. Oh, I should
What do
not
you
have.
mean?
It's a very long
Making it
title,
short,
you know.
a
Yeah,
catchy title.
yeah. With Ghostbusters Afterlife, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Matrix Resurrections, this discussion is going to be pretty interesting to see what has the most hype.
If you say Matrix 2 more times, Hugo is gonna bust through your wall. So maybe try that.
Dude, If you
You
turn
know
off all
what?
the lights and say Matrix 5 times, Hugo just comes. Oh, he's doing it.
I was gonna
Hello,
do
I'm Hugo.
it. On Wednesday, we're playing some Among Us for our community stream night. We had to switch the penultimate game show just because Ryan's moving in on Wednesday to his new place. Come hang out and see who's the greatest imposter of the group. Obviously, it's me, but we'll see. And Thursday, it's finally time that we talk about Guardians of the Galaxy on the penultimate game show. Can't wait to see what everyone's thoughts are.
Cool game, eh?
I look
Yes.
forward to playing it when I get the chance.
Oh yeah, I think Eric is gonna really love that game. Like, I can't wait for him to play it.
We'll see.
I did my Returnal, and now I'm doing Dragon Quest 11 is my game right now, and
Oh
Deathloop.
my
Going back
god,
to it,
Dragon Quest 11, you'll be here forever.
Either way, yeah.
Okay, not a game I would expect Eric to play, but
Yeah,
still.
me either.
I love
Glad he's getting
JRPGs.
some gaming in. Do you really?
Yeah, I like JRPGs a lot.
That's true. You're a big
I don't
Persona 5
I
stan.
don't play like a lot of them, but I do enjoy the ones I play.
Interesting.
One day when I finally make it past hour 1 of Persona 5 Royal, I'll come chat with you.
All right, it's good. It's great.
Yeah. Otherwise, let's get into our Marvel news of the week. We've got some big ones today. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn today announced that filming has begun on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We actually even got news of an actor being added to the cast right before the show. I forgot to add it in the doc. While I find that, I want to know what your guys' excitement levels are for Volume 3. We can begin with anyone. I think Ruben just...
No,
said
I
his
was
hand.
just fixing my camera. Eric, go ahead.
I mean, I'm very excited. You know, Guardians is one of the best Marvel properties. It's it's exciting. It's interesting because it'll been it'll be 6 years in between Guardians 2 and this one. So I hope
Wow.
that
Doesn't even feel like it.
I know. I hope that it's. I know they say it's going to be after Endgame, which I'm excited for because I think that's one of the biggest issues I had with 2 was that like it just happens like 6 months after 1, so it kind of feels like in its own little pocket thing. But yeah, great cast. Just James Gunn knows those characters. I'm excited he comes back for a third one. So,
Yes.
that's
This is his
always
story.
exciting. Yeah.
Thank God. Speaking of cast, the casting that just was announced today that I was mentioning earlier, Chukuri Iwuji has been casting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Quote, after working with him, this is James Gunn, by the way, talking. After working with him on Peacemaker, I wasn't able to let go of one of the best actors I've ever worked with, so I gave him the role most every big name actor in Hollywood wanted. I don't know what he's cast as, but
It's
we'll see.
obvious.
What is it?
Star-Lord.
We already have a Star-Lord.
It's
And we-
crazy. I didn't see Drax in the photo. It was just wild.
Oh, wait, what photo?
Yeah, the cast photo. I didn't see Dave Bautista as Drax. Crazy. It's
Ooh.
like he wasn't there.
Oh, now I understand. That took me a hot second to understand that reference, but I got there.
Is it because he wasn't there? What's the
No,
reference?
he's there. It's Drax. He stood so still.
He's moving incredibly still.
Very clever. Very clever.
I'm very excited to see Will Poulter's take on Adam Warlock. I don't like Adam Warlock very much in the Guardians game, I'll tell you that much, but I do like a Will
Spoilers.
Poulter. And
Whoa.
Adam Warlock genuinely is not a great, not a fun dude to be around, Ruben. So it's
Okay.
no surprise that he's not great.
Well, I didn't know
the
he was in the
Guardians
game.
was he not in the marketing material?
I
I
don't
could
think
have
so.
swore he was in a trailer.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
thought so as well.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I was just fucking with you.
Anyway, sorry, I apologize.
No,
by the way,
you don't need to apologize, Christian. It's okay.
Tell me if you're excited for Guardians or not.
Am I excited for Guardians? You know, we'll see when it comes out if I'm excited for it or not. I don't really. Guardians 1 was okay. Guardians 2 was, we'll see.
So Guardians is not one of your favorite parts of the MCU.
No, I feel like Guardians is no, it's not.
Okay.
So Sorry.
That's wild. That's a refreshing take. Usually, most people love the Guardians, so it's interesting to hear someone who doesn't like Guardians.
I mean, I'll watch the movie,
Hmm.
but like, I don't really like. Nobody's. I'm not counting the days down to Guardians 3. You know.
Sure. I'm excited for us to watch Guardians 2 again because the first watch I was very high on Guardians 2. So I'm excited to see how that fares on a recent rewatch.
I mean, I'm excited.
Otherwise,
I'm excited for Bradley Cooper to come back into the MCU. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
love that man as
Okay.
Rocket. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Otherwise, moving on to our final piece of news. And if there's anything I missed, like, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, Disney Plus to make 13 MCU films available to watch at home in IMAX's extended aspect ratio. This is all I've wanted for years, and it's finally happening. This is something that I think is so cool to be able to watch at home. With those big shots, are you kidding me? I might have to go out and get a projector.
Wow.
Watch that at
Okay.
home. I might do it. I might do it. I know Ruben posted this in the chat today, and you were very excited about it.
I did. I was very excited because I'm excited to finally see these movies in IMAX. You know, without a shitty seat in the theater. So we'll see.
Do you get bad seats in the theaters?
Like
Come on now.
every seat I pick, it's either next to some fucking guy that doesn't shut up, or like the seat's busted.
Sounds like you
Theater
don't got no
etiquette.
H15. Well, that's what I'm hearing.
I don't know what H15 is.
That's
You don't
Eric's seat every
Yeah,
single
you
time.
don't have an H15.
No, but I do have a seat. Like for Dolby, this is what I usually go watch a Marvel movie in Dolby. That's what I did for this one. Like it's dead center in the theater, dead center. But every time, for some stupid reason, every time I try to see an IMAX movie, there's either some fucking guy that won't shut up or the seat's broken.
I'm gonna blame that on poor movie theater etiquette, but you did say something here that I'm gonna actually use that to segue into our actual topic of the show.
Go for it.
You watched this in Dolby. Before we actually get into any kind of discussion, before I even give you budget and all that stuff,
Yeah.
Eric, did you watch this in IMAX?
I did see this in IMAX. Like I said, I was able to see this. Tessa was really sweet and let me go see it Thursday. H15 was taken, so I had to sit
It's unfortunate.
2 rows back, a little further to the left. But yeah, I did see
J,
this.
row
Yeah,
J.
I had to sit in J.
What was
But
that like?
it was weird. I gotta tell you, it was weird, man. Because this is the first time I don't think I've sat. This is the first time I haven't sat in H15 since for a movie since probably Joker.
What a horrible
Wow.
movie.
I haven't like Joker. I didn't sit in my H15. Every other movie I get H15 because
You know,
with my work schedule, I'm able to. I see movies Monday afternoon typically, so my seat is always available. Yeah, it was nice to see like with a nice Marvel crowd. I haven't had a first night showing for a Marvel movie since Endgame, so it was nice.
yeah. You know, I don't make fun of Eric for H15, but I love bringing it up. I've noticed that I tend to lean towards I-21 at my theater, just because the middle seats are usually kind of taken when I buy tickets. So I go the next best thing, and it's usually I-21. So
I'll tell you right now.
It's
little bit
actually
off-
it's actually fun that we were talking about IMAX because that's actually one of my problems with this movie.
yes, I agree. Okay, but we'll get into that in just a second. Let me read you some details here about Eternals. Premiere date of October 18th, 2021. And that was, I think, the press junket screening, but I bring it up here for a specific reason. We'll get into it in just a moment. The official release date for theaters here in the US was November 5th, 2021. A budget of 200 million US dollars with a global box office as of today of 161 million. So it's doing pretty well here. Directed by Chloe Zhao with a screenplay by Zhao, Kaz Firpo, Ryan Firpo, and Patrick Burley. I wanted to bring up this. Ooh, uh-oh.
Whatever.
Guys, I need you to fill time. I'm getting a call from someone that I need to take. I'm so sorry.
Okay, all right.
Sounds good.
So Ruben, what
So-
have you been doing?
Before
I haven't dealt with you in a while.
That's
What you
okay.
been doing?
Before we continue that conversation, I want to tell you my H15. My H15 in Dolby, of course, it's always Dolby, is going to be either E10 or E9 or F10 or F9, just in case.
Okay.
You never know. What have I been doing? I've just been recuperating, slowly but surely. I went back to work today, and Jesus Christ, I want to quit my job so bad, Eric.
I understand.
I just want to quit very badly. It's so bad.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, what I miss?
Uh,
I was just saying what my H15 is, which is usually E10 or E9 or F10 or F9.
That
And
is not that big of a theater.
it's not, because it's usually the theater that we go to is pretty small. So
Gotcha. But the sound, I'm sure, is amazing.
yeah, of course, absolutely.
Anyway, I brought up the October 18th release date because big kind of moment of contention here on Twitter was that at this particular screening, there was some spoilers posted by a member of Variety.
Ugh,
Um,
sorry.
I don't know if you guys were aware of this or if you guys had the unlucky draw of being spoiled by this dude or people quote tweeting this dude, but I very much had the first post-credit scene spoiled by him, and which I found to be very unfortunate. Um,
Thank you,
I just wanted
Ethan,
to take this.
for subbing at tier 1. Appreciate it.
Let's go, Ethan. But yeah, I just want to take this moment to be cool with spoilers, man. Like, it doesn't matter if you're part of press. Like, that shit should not fly. They even came, like, I don't know, the social media team of Eternals was like, hey, if you watch this movie and you're part of the press, don't do that. Because this was like supposed to be a big pop for a lot of people. It's a very big reveal, which we'll get into here. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys get spoiled at all?
No, I did not.
no, as soon as I saw that was going around, I muted everything Variety. So
That's smart.
As soon as
Yeah.
I heard that was happening, I immediately stopped going on Twitter.
That's too hard for me to do.
yeah, that's a hard thing, man. That's really
Is
tough.
it though? Like, you just don't
Mhm.
open up the app, you know?
I have 3 accounts that I have to post on, man.
Yeah, you're right.
True.
Yeah,
I gotta be on that. I gotta be on that site. But that leads us into our actual discussion here. Again, don't be spoiling stuff. Come on now. I say that as I accidentally maybe spoiled some.
You didn't
Guardians
spoil
game stuff.
anything. Stop.
I don't think I did,
You
but
didn't.
either way.
I'm just fucking with you.
Ruben, while Eric was gone, I had your general top level thoughts on the movie. Give us a quick reminder of what you thought about Eternals.
I thought it was a very different MCU movie that we kind of needed. It was a breath of fresh air, especially after Endgame. My hope is that Chloe Zhao comes back and does some more movies. But like,
Interesting.
there's some, I have a little bit of little things that need to be tweaked. You know, some scenes don't need to be shot and shown to the audience. But other than that, she was great. I'm proud of her. She kicked ass.
Very similar to Ruben. I thought it was also a unique take. It didn't feel like an MCU movie, and that's I think probably for better or for worse. You know me, I love Chloe Zhao. After this, like I'm glad she got to the moment to make a big blockbuster movie. I honestly kind of miss seeing her do more like independent, like drama driven movies after this. I don't know if I want to see another big blockbuster from her again because I don't think that's where like her strongest is.
Okay.
That said, like I ended up really liking Eternals. I did not like the first hour. I thought it was actually kind of messy, maybe even a bit bad. But then that the payoffs that's set up in the first kind of hour uh, makes it so that like the second half ends up actually being really strong, and I care about a lot of these characters and all these moving parts. Like I surprised me how much I actually really enjoyed it by the end of the movie. Eric, what did you think?
It's like I said on Twitter. I think it's a very beautiful film. I think Chloe Zhao did a really good job with what she had. I think the pacing was really bad. It was not good. Like that's not her deal. Like I know she had credit on the story, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
I think the story she had credit on. The script was not helpful for her with that, because it's way too all over the place. And I realize that she has to build up these relationships, and but it's really hard considering this is the first time we've ever heard of this crew, ever.
Yeah.
and we're going so back and forth. Like, it's so weird to see Salma Hayek in the marketing because I feel as though with the way they cut the movie, she's barely in it.
Yes.
Like, I think that like the scenes she had, like when your one of your first scenes with her is she's. Are we getting into spoilers now, everyone?
Yes. Give me a second. Hold on.
Oh, we got a graphic for it.
Yeah. Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to. It's hard to talk about this movie without like really getting into spoilers.
We're going into spoilers now. So like when like the one of the first scenes is, hey, guess what? She's dead. What? Oh yeah, and then it takes me out of it sometimes when I see her again. I'm like, oh what? I feel as though there was just a lot of moving parts in this movie. A lot of them worked for me. I thought they were really cool. But for me, I would like to see more of this, but I can't put it more than just like mid-tier MCU for me. Like, I think, does this movie deserve the 48% Rotten Tomatoes? No, it does not. It's way better than that. No, Rotten Tomatoes is
Yeah.
not a good reference for movies, but this is a good flick. There's a lot of great things in this movie. It's just hampered down by technical execution, I think.
Yes. Yeah, and one of the things for me too that I think Eric even alluded to is that the IMAX is just weird. That first hour is odd because Chloe
Mhm.
Zhao has never shot IMAX before. I know she's shot film before and it looks phenomenal, but the way like you'll have like a 30-second scene in IMAX and then it'll cut to a scene that's not in IMAX, then
Mhm.
it'll go back to the scene in IMAX and just you can feel that it's like jarring, which that took me out of the movie.
Oh, it definitely
And you
took
can
me out of the movie.
I think we just needed like there's an article that I thought was really cool that she went to Denis Villeneuve and was like, because they're buddies, and they
Mhm.
talked about like how to shoot on IMAX, and so
Of Dune
Villeneuve
fame.
kind of, yeah, exactly, and so he kind of taught her ways how to work with an IMAX camera, but she's still kind of inexperienced with those kinds of cameras. So I think a cinematographer who was used to shooting like big action set pieces like this with these kinds of cameras would have gone a long way to help those kind of shots be not as jarring, but otherwise, it is a gorgeous movie, right?
Which is just crazy because I'm trying to look up who the cinematographer was for this movie because like Shang-Chi was all in IMAX,
That's true.
if I'm not mistaken. So like, because you're right, that first hour, I'm like, I look over at my buddy, I'm like, oh my god, these like this is going all over the freaking place. It's
Yeah.
the same person for Captain Marvel and Dumbo, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
So
I don't
one
know.
good movie.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, no, they also did Guardians, Ultron, Doctor Strange.
So
Oh, this guy. Yes.
That's
Ah,
wild.
dude should have known a little bit better because that first action scene on the beach when they first get on Earth, I
Oh,
was like a little weird.
oh,
I'm
it
I'm
was so
glad
good.
I'm glad that was not the climax of the movie because out of all the marketing material, I was like, oh my god, I hope that it isn't the end. This looks kind of weird. So to have that like be just we deal with that. It's like 3 minutes and then we move on. I was very happy that we're like away from that beach fight scene. But I have more thoughts on that later. Eric mentioned that this movie has poor pacing, in his opinion. I think it's pretty messy as well. Ruben seems a bit higher on it, but uh,
oh no, the
I
pacing is definitely like off.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect. One of the reasons why I think it's kind of poor is that it moves from flashbacks to present day in not a very good way. Here I wrote in my notes here. Flashbacks occasionally interrupt pacing of the present day, but overall, it's necessary to establish those relationships, which is kind of hard for me to really say if the moments like in Babylon or whatever are even that good or not. Like they're necessary in order to build who these characters are and what like their opinions on the humans are. Like it makes sense, but I found myself caring for the Eternals more when they're actually in the present, not when they're in the past.
Right.
What about you guys?
Ruben, go ahead.
I wholeheartedly agree. There was just some stuff like in the past where I was like, okay, we don't really need this. Like, why? All the stuff, essentially, all the stuff with Druig, I we didn't need this. We didn't need this.
In the past Druid?
Just like all of it, I guess.
What are you talking? What?
Like,
You don't like the Amazon sequence?
I did, but like that was the only thing that that I liked about him. Like there was nothing else that the character I thought that the character brought to the story. There was nothing else that he contributed. Like they went to him to see if he could, mind trick the what's it called?
Celestial.
Yeah, the Celestial, and we didn't even go through with that. So I just found it really weird that he was in this movie, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I think if they had done the flashbacks like in sequential order, it would have been much better. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, like if they started the movie with all the stuff in
Yeah, in the
the
past,
flashbacks and
yeah,
then move to yeah,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
What about you, Eric?
I am going to disagree with Ruben right here. I think Druig was one of the best parts in the movie.
Thank you.
Because respectfully disagree with you, buddy.
Okay, that's okay.
Um,
Yeah, that's fine.
because I think for me the only two flashback scenes I really liked were the one where Sprite was telling the story in Babylon with her powers. I thought that was really like aesthetically very pleasing, and I felt like I was on like a freaking Disney ride right there. I'm like, oh my god, this is so like nice and comforting. I feel and the what was it when they were in Mexico? Was it Mexico?
Yeah.
Technically, Claude. Yeah.
Yeah, when they first had their first argument, and he's like, you know how like we're so old and we have to keep watching all these people fight and fight and fight, and I literally can stop it, but you won't let me. I think that was one of the strongest scenes of the movie, was when he started to bring up like, hey, our mission sucks. It really does, because these people just kill each other and kill each other and kill each other, and we can't do anything about it. And it's interesting because I think you had to have that. Um, you kind of have to have that present day. We're like, oh, this is where they are now, and then when they show up, oh, this character is what they meant. Somewhat, I'm going off.
Yeah.
I'm running off. Tessa and I are very sleep deprived, so my rambling may be a little all over the
Nope.
place. But
You're making a
um,
good point though, because if I'm correct in what you're alluding to, is that kind of the heart of this movie is not just like the characters interacting, but like how their beliefs clash with each other.
mhm,
Like everyone has different viewpoints, and the way they're kind of expressed that over, I mean, literally time
mhm,
from like from the past all the way into like the very climax of the movie.
mhm.
Like that, those questions they pose there are so good. But before we get into like those kinds of ideologies, I have a long list of characters here. I don't know who to start with. We can start with anyone because I think so many of these characters have such fantastic moments. I'm gonna read you guys the cast of characters, and then we can begin with anyone.
Mhm.
Gemma Chen plays Cersei, who I think is our POV character. One of the main leads. I mean, there's a bunch of leads, but I would consider her the main lead.
Yeah.
Of course, Richard Madden as Icarus,
So handsome.
aka Superman. Dude, what a
He was
gorgeous
so
man.
handsome in this
Yeah.
movie.
Who- Who's cuter, Icarus or Kit Harington's character, Dane? I can't tell.
I will say that when they had their scene when they were on the bridge together and walking towards each other, I'm like, ooh.
The Starks are back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Richard Madden was definitely the more attractive person. But like, whew,
Fair.
like a
Fair.
freaking marble statue in this movie.
Salma Hayek as Ajak. Thank God we finally got the scene of her in the movie riding that horse. I waited like 2 hours to see that scene.
Right.
We finally got there. Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo, who of course gave I think one of the Ruben's giving the 2 thumbs up. Fantastic by Kumail.
Phenomenal.
Angelina Jolie as Thena.
Oh,
Don
so
Lee
good.
as Gilgamesh.
So
Leah,
good.
Leah McHugh as Sprite. Barry Coogan as Druig. I'm gonna put my thumbs up for me and Eric. Lauren Ridloff as Makari, who was one of my favorites.
Oh my
Makari
god.
fucking ruled. Brian Tyree Henry, aka Paperboy, as Fastos. Kit Harington as Dane. I'll do redacted for now. We'll get into who he is later. And then Gil Birmingham as Kingo's valet,
Now,
who I legit need to shout out. Yeah.
I want to
Yes.
stress every person in this cast did a phenomenal fucking job.
agree.
Everybody.
Yeah. Everyone had their scene, dude.
Yeah.
They all had their scene. And any favorites from you, Eric?
I think my favorites for me would have to be I really liked obviously Kingo. I mean, Kingo is great. Kumail Nanjiani. I was looking at my buddy during the movie. I'm like, it's so unfair because we were noticed like how obviously how ripped he got for the movie.
Yeah.
It's like it's so unfair how ripped he is and how hilarious he is at the same time. That's a walking, super package right there.
Yeah.
But it's Kingo, Athena, and Gilgamesh for me were the strongest ones.
Yep.
I think that was Athena's and Gilgamesh's friendship was probably my favorite relationship in the whole movie, and Kingo just being Kingo and the valet. Kingo,
Yes.
he brought that like nice little touches of humanity with the group everywhere, which I thought was what was needed with all these super old beings, and especially like towards the end when they're like, "Hey, we're about to destroy everything." And he was like, "Thank you for all you've done."
Oh
Like
my
that
God.
moment, I was like, that was really good. Like Chloe Zhao did a fantastic job. I think like the performances and the characters are the strongest part of this movie. Absolutely. So
Yeah, I wanted to write in Gil Birmingham because I think for every scene that Kumail steals, which is pretty frequent, every time that man opens his mouth, he's
Every
stealing that
fucking
scene.
time.
Every time he does that, more often than not, right after that, Kingo's valet. I couldn't find his name online, so I'm sorry. Every time Kingo talked, the valet would come right up and steal the scene right after him, like every single time. I kind of wanted a bit more of them, but what we got there was I thought like phenomenal. And you guys are right. Like for me, this movie is entirely driven by character relationships. The way they all interact with each other is fantastic. Oh my God, Cersei and Icarus's relationship, like having the first Marvel like actual intimate sex scene that I actually believe, but then like introducing her new relationship with Kit Harington, who I'm like, I don't want him to get hurt. Like I want them. I want Cersei and Kit Harington to be a forever. I love them together. Um, and then Makari and Druig for me. I think their relationship, which is kind of implicit there, like you can tell there's a history there's a tension, but it's mostly left kind of unspoken, and you can tell they care about each other, and you don't know if it's sexual or if it's just like a brotherly sisterly kind of thing. Either way, you could probably read it. I think it works fantastic. And the last note I have here is that this movie is so horny. Like those are, you know what I mean? Like it's like it's a quiet horniness, but it exists. It's there, and like all this, there's a sexual tension running throughout all of them, and it's dope. I love it. Very
This
cool.
is coming from the king of horniness, so it all makes sense.
I am wearing a shirt that says the three-stroke king right now, so yeah. But I wanted to shout out specifically someone who Ethan brought up in chat, which is Fastos, which is probably the best character, if I have to think about it. This man understands what it is to like really be a human, even though he isn't. He understands like empathy and what like matters and to us, right? To people, and that he goes out and he finds himself a partner, and they create a life together. And not just that, but they have, I think they adopt a son, and so they're caring for this other person. And everything that Fastos does later in the climax is reflective of that life that he left behind and that he's trying to protect. I think forefronting that is fantastic, and like to have Zhao remind us in the climax that like I'm doing this for him, unbelievable. I love it. Shout out to Disney for being unwavering and not cutting this movie.
Yeah.
also, I think it was. I would have liked a little more to the scene, but I especially love when he goes to Hiroshima.
Oh my god.
Like, especially because like he has to deal with all that guilt because he gave them the idea for guns, which led to all this, and so like that could weigh heavily. This is why like stories with these immortal like characters like Wolverine and all these characters, it hurts a lot because they have to go through so much pain. Like they have to stay there and live through all that. And I think Fastos having to see like the fruits of his work cause so much destruction that it's obviously understanding that he just secluded himself from everything.
Yeah. I think that's what's so successful too, in that it's not just Fastos too. Like Druig, I know Ruben didn't really care for him, but I think that scene where he's in Mexico and he's like really struggling with the idea of like the Eternals' influence on the humans and how they can provide a better life for them, but they're not supposed to interfere. Like that really troubles him. And there's like also the great ethical question that comes later on when they. Well, I'm gonna say that for later.
Now,
We'll get there in a second.
to be fair, I just want to say that it's not that I don't like the character. I just don't think he, the character should have been in this movie. Like, don't get me wrong. Like every scene that he's in, with especially the Amazon scene where he's just like taking care of these people, is great. Don't get me wrong. Like especially his speech of like why he should be stopping war and all that stuff is great. I just don't think like he added much to the story besides those two parts.
I think this is where I would disagree with you, but I
That's okay.
respect it
No,
nonetheless.
no, that's okay. That's all right. I also want to give a shout out to Angelina Jolie as Thena, just because she fucking
Yeah,
knocked it out of the fucking park.
she was great.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, I'm gonna be legit here. My hot take is that it took me a while for me to like Don Lee's Gilgamesh. When when I'm seeing Don Lee act alongside Angelina Jolie, like I can clearly see that Angelina's like a much better actress, even though I like Don Lee a lot. So it took me a while to actually buy in on their two's relationship. But when we get finally to that scene later, in I forget where they're at. I think it was Australia. It might
Yeah,
be
I think
Australia.
so. Yeah.
The later half of Australia, and then everything in the Amazon. Like Don Lee really was carrying those scenes. Like that, his sacrifice gave the emotional weight that I needed in the Eternals. Like
Yes.
seeing Angelina struggle through that, and then
Yep.
the rest of the crew just like losing another one. Oh, that is when I was like, I'm all in for this movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I also want to give out a shout out to Gemma for kicking ass as Cersei. Like I wasn't expecting her to be the main lead, obviously because of the promotional stuff that we got. I was expecting Salma Hayek to be the main lead, but I'm so glad that Gemma was like
Yeah.
the lead for this movie. Like it was great. It was great. Absolutely great.
We can continue to talk about the characters as we move forward, but I want to throw in the antagonists here, which gets a little complicated later, but we have Arishem the Celestial, who is kind of the antagonist figure. I mean, he's scary either way, or
Super
it's
scary.
scary. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but becomes the antagonist later on. And then, of course, we have the evolved deviant. I'm going to throw in the question: are they actually the bad guys? Because they are the antagonists, but they Jia poses a very interesting question here later on. And then the big twist, which I want to know your opinions on here, is Icarus revealed to be the because this is where I actually really enjoyed Salma Hayek coming back. Is the reveal that Icarus was the one that killed her and not the deviant. I mean, the deviant did kill him, but it was by Icarus's doing. What do you guys think about this twist?
Eric, go ahead.
I think it was interesting because I didn't expect it. I thought, with being on Earth for so long, Icarus would have, changed a little bit. But it was nice to know that there was actually someone still on the team that would still devote to Arsham. I think just from a plot point, like if they all were just like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. We're Eternals. Yeah, our mission is done. And to have someone still so steadfast in like the Arsham knows what to do, and especially coming from the strongest Eternal. I think that was really nice. Like, to have them all band and fight him, and toward the end, I thought it was beautifully shot, and probably one of the best action scenes in the movie, if not the best, was when they all fight him.
Oh
Um,
man.
it was really good. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really strong. I thought, um, yeah, because like he's made to be like Soldier Boy, kind of. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's the perfect soldier, perfect leader. Of course, he's going to stay on, and then he struggles with all that with Cersei and everything. But I like the
That's a
twist. I thought it was good.
that's a good point. I don't know how like if the movie would have been weaker if everyone was just like, yeah, let's all take down the Celestial. I think what makes it interesting is that everyone does have different opinions,
Hmm.
vastly different. Ruben, how about you?
I think if we look at it through the DC lens, Superman is always overpowered. Like this guy has way too many fucking powers. He can fly. He can shoot laser beams out of his eyes. He has super strength. I'm assuming. Like, why? Why would you assume that this man is on your side? you know he's going to turn on you because that's what they do.
I didn't.
That's what
I
they
didn't.
always do, Christian. They always turn. And is it because my the love of my life is dead. Oh, I'm following the mission. Who gives a shit? All right? The fact of the matter is they always fucking turn. Having said that, I thought Icarus was very well played, and I did not expect this turn, surprisingly enough. And I'm kind of glad that it happened, because uh, it gives us the lens to show off other people's powers, I guess. Like it gave us the great scene with Fastos of him just like putting him down, and he's like, you know
Bro,
what,
I
fucking.
did not know Fastos could get down like that.
I didn't know that either, but you know
Yeah.
what? I am so glad that it happened because he's a fucking badass, man. He's a badass, and it kind of like put some fear into me, like, oh, this is
Mhm.
one guy I don't want to fuck with. And go ahead.
No, I wanted to highlight this Icarus's twist so much because I think he almost doesn't want to do it. Like
Yeah,
he has to because he's his mission is to be loyal to whatever
right.
Irisham wants. Like he loves Salma Hayek. That is who he looked up to for thousands of years for guidance. And when he has to, you know,
Sure.
offer, I guess, isn't that? Yeah,
Yeah.
unalive her. Yeah, he brings her back to the home in like one of the flyover states, like Nebraska or something. Sorry, people from Nebraska.
South Dakota.
Thank you, South
Close
Dakota.
enough. Close enough.
It's close, but yes.
Dude, when he's like on his knees and like looking at her lifeless body, like he really struggles with the weight. Like, oh my God, I just had to kill one of the people I cared about most in my entire life. Like the only one of the few people I've known for my entire life.
Yeah.
And he just like has that like guttural screech and like shoots lasers at like the
The
fencing.
fence. Yeah.
What a powerful moment, dude. Absolutely love that scene.
And I love the fact that he was hesitant to like change their minds. He wanted to see where the group was going to go first before he decided to change everybody's mind. Well, not change everybody, before he decided to turn, because he wanted to make sure, like, all right, let's see who's on the same page. Like, I'm not the leader, Cersei is. We're going to follow in her footsteps unless she goes down the wrong path, and which I'm going to end up destroying them and making sure that the plan goes according to plan.
That is some true villainy shit, if I'm
Yeah.
being real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we get into some more general discussion that's going to end up wrapping the show, I wanted to include some moments here because we mentioned all of us that we feel like The Eternals is a very different and interesting take on an MCU movie that almost doesn't feel like an MCU movie. Ruben said this is the Justice League movie.
The
An opening
Supreme
crawl.
cut of the Justice League movie. I'm sorry.
Supreme cut. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Did you guys? I don't know. How do you guys feel about the opening crawl?
Didn't
I saw it,
expect
I was
it.
like, oh my God.
Didn't
Yeah.
expect it. I thought it was another trailer.
What a way to get an exposition on like I thought it was pretty fine. Like it
Yeah.
gave me a quick consent or a quick exposition on who the Eternals are, who these words are weird. I don't know what the Deviants are and the Celestials, but sure, it works. It's
Yeah.
cool.
I thought it was interesting because as I was reading it, I forget what they actually said, but it was something about life and everything. And I was looking at my buddy. I'm like, and don't forget, the dead speak, because we're still upset about Rise of Skywalker.
Nice.
But no, it just I thought it was very interesting, especially the tone of the movie is
Yes.
for me kind of the tone of the movie is set up if they play the Marvel Studios fanfare at the beginning, and they didn't with this one. So it's like, oh no, this is going to be a very serious, because like they did that with Infinity War and Endgame. They don't do the usual fanfare to start, and they actually play a song.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I thought that was
Time by Pink Floyd, which is one of the most
Yeah.
base takes Chloe Zhao could ever do. It's amazing.
I thought that was interesting, because yeah, it sets a tone like this is not what you're used to. Like, don't expect going into this thing that's going to be a normal MCU movie, and it wasn't. Like, there are some references here and there to what happened, but this thing kind of exists in its own circle. I thought that was really interesting. We were also talking like when Celestial at the end when the Celestial comes out of the sea and the Celestial
Oh
and
my god.
Armishem's in the sky. I'm like, what do you think Cap
People
and
think
Bucky are doing right now? Do you think like, oh shit, hold on, I gotta eat my food real quick. Oh god, they need something to do. Like, it's like, Cap, what do we do? I'm just gonna throw my shield at it real quick. Hold
Yeah,
on.
will it even reach space? Should see. He's so
But that
far
was
away.
a beautiful shot, especially like
beautiful
him
shot.
like his hand coming out. Oh, but I didn't mention this earlier with the antagonists because you guys were making some great points. Yeah, the Celestials are just dicks. Like I expected that Armishim to be an asshole, and turns out he was because you don't trust Celestials at all.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Because like
Now I
Ego
know.
is a Celestial, and we saw how that turned out.
You know who else
And
is a celestial?
Grandmaster,
Is he?
I believe he's a grand. No, he's not.
No, you know who I'm talking about.
No, he's something else. I think Grandmaster is something else. But yeah,
You know who I'm talking
he's
about.
who's a Celestial?
No.
You don't know who I'm talking about?
No.
All right, we'll get back to that later.
What is this?
No, we'll get back to that
That's all I'm
later.
gonna think about
Okay.
right now. What is it?
We'll get back to that later. Keep going.
We've mentioned, of course, Zhao shooting on film. That gives it a very much. Usually, MCU films are filmed digitally. One of the most favorite ones that they use are the Red Dragon and those variants of the red cameras. Those are fantastic cameras. But of course, this one's shot on film, giving that a much different feel. I think some of those shots are absolutely incredible. We've already mentioned those. We won't belabor that point. We've already mentioned some of the ways Zhao and Disney are unwavering in the representation of diversity. We mentioned the sex scene, Phastos' partner and son. One we didn't highlight, but I want to bring real quick, is the Bollywood scene with Kingo. What an amazing sequence! It's gotten some flack on Twitter for not being as vibrant as usual Bollywood scenes are, but for the kind of I don't want to call it whitewashing because it's certainly not,
Yeah.
but kind of watered down or more of like an easier like exposure to those Bollywood sequences for me I thought was really cool. And then to see, I don't know, I just thought it was a beautiful sequence, and then to get Kingo's absolutely like asshole character right after that, who's just like in it to make a bunch of money and for fame, I thought was like hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
Any other
There.
thoughts here on the Bollywood sequence?
I think it was funny how they go like, how do they know that's not your grandfather? What are you talking about? That is my great great grandfather. That is my great grandfather. That's my grandfather. That's my uncle. That's me. I have the
The
best dynasty in
dynasty.
Bollywood. Yeah.
The
But
dynasty. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
I like the fact that he is this super popular guy and everything, and just that moment like Ajak is dead, he just stops.
I will be right
Like
back.
nothing else matters anymore. Like when they told him Ajak was dead, it's like
Oh,
the
Kingo?
yeah, when they told him she was dead, like the facade went away right there. Like that one or
Yeah.
2 second. I thought that was really good. Um,
Yeah, those shifts from Kumail to more serious, like every time he does switch to something like that, you do feel that weight because he's not that kind of guy usually. It's a
mhm.
good point.
I do enjoy also,
Um,
yeah, he's been my valet for 50 years. That just like shows like how old these people are. Like, yeah, I've known him for 50 years. And so I think that there was that nice connection between the two, with between valet and Kingo.
it's like the Batman Alfred thing. Like I trust this guy with all my
Two
secrets.
DC references in this movie, which was wild. He's
Had
like,
to
oh,
do
he's
it.
like
Oh, that's
Alfred.
right.
Yeah, we get a Batman reference and we get a Superman reference in this movie. And I was like, oh my God.
Here I thought I was being clever, but they do say that. Oh, like Alfred. That rocks. A big one here that I brought up because everyone is talking about this and for good reason. A moment that Ruben mentioned yesterday on the extra live stream, the depiction of powers,
Mhm,
specifically the depiction of super speed.
mhm.
Are you kidding me? I want to hear more about Ruben because I know this is one of his favorite sequences. Makari's super speed.
Oh my God, Makari super speed. You know, it's funny because again, I'm sorry to bring this back to DC, but like DC literally has the Flash,
Mhm.
and Makari's super speed sequences are far superior than anything I've ever seen in a DC property, live action property.
With the exception of the Snyder cut at the end, that scene is actually pretty cool as well.
I don't remember that. What's happening at the end of the Snyder Cut with Flash?
When he runs back in time to stop like what's that
Yeah,
fool's name? Doomsday.
yeah.
That scene was cool.
Yes, but literally
This
everything
was awesome.
else. I had talked about it with Griffin yesterday, I think, and Griffin was like, "Yeah, we don't need any super slow mo scenes of people with super speed. Just do it. We don't need it anymore. So just do
Yeah.
it in regular speed. You know?
When Makari's running like over the ocean and jumping over mountains,
Yep.
seeing that in IMAX was absolutely fucking mind blowing. Awesome. And then
And then the scene
the
when he's
fight with
beating that
Chris.
ass.
I'm sorry, Eric.
Where the scene where she's beating that ass when
Yes.
she's going super like so many punches. I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
man, this is good.
It fucking rocks. Which is why I think with that like climax fight is had to be one of my favorite sequences because of specifically her and how cool she is.
Yes.
Speaking of representation, though, since we're on Makari, fantastic that we got a I'm sorry, is it deaf actress or is it mute actress? I think is it mute?
I want to say it's mute.
I'm not quite sure which one it is because
I'll find out real quick.
Thank you, Eric. Either way, I think the moments where she's using sign language, like there's a lot of even though like the subtitles are kind of short and she's not saying
She
that
was
much.
born deaf.
Thank you, deaf. The lines that she does, quote unquote, speak with those subtitles are always pretty powerful. Like she packs a lot of emotion into very short words. Like she's saying a lot by with so little for most of the movie, so that when she does have like an actual audible line, it's her screaming at what we
Yeah.
think is Druig dying. That moment hits me so hard because I can feel her emotion on
Oh,
screen.
I got another follow. I'm sorry. From thank you, Bottom Fraggers Pod, for the follow. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bottom Fraggers.
Thank you.
But you know what? Since we're on the climax here,
Sorry. I'm
Christian
sorry.
knows a lot about
that's what
climax.
she said. How do you? Oh, I mean, okay. Mention anything about the climax here. The Unimind, the Celestial, Tiamat coming out of the volcano. Where do you guys want to take it from here?
If I could chime in here first, it's kind of fucked up that she used the last of her powers from the Unimind on Sprite.
How
Fastos
so?
literally has a kid, and she didn't even bother asking him if he wanted to, turn into a human. Like, I get it, that's Sprite's whole thing, but the man has a kid, you know?
Yeah, but Sprite was suffering for most of her existence.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I got
Damn,
nothing
I
to
didn't
say.
think I didn't think about that though. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be painful for Fastos to grow up and see. Oh man, that is
yeah,
gonna hurt as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom Fraggers Pod says Eternals was the most meh Marvel movie in forever. That's my contribution. LOL.
Dang.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's the thing, right? I don't think this movie is for everyone,
Yeah,
and that's probably okay.
I do. I have one thing that I wanted to bring up, and it was circling back to the deviants. I don't
Yeah.
think. I don't know. I have problems with them having two so-called antagonists, which Icarus and the deviants being like the two. I hate when movies do this. I kind of wish that it was just the antagonists that were, sorry, the deviants that were the bad guys in this movie.
Oh, I
Just
disagree.
it's either or, but you know what I'm saying. Like you can't have both because that kind of like takes away from both of the antagonists. No, you're right. I do. I want to switch that. I kind of wish that the deviants weren't the main deviant wasn't the antagonist in this movie.
Yeah.
I think they should have just stuck with Icarus, and then at the end of this movie we see one of the deviant coming up, and he's like got healing powers.
I don't think I
things.
ever really cared about the deviants.
I
Sorry, Eric.
didn't. They were the Lex Luthor of the MCU.
Which Lex Luthor are you talking about, man? Because Lex Luthor is great.
I'm talking about the one and only Jesse
Just
Eisenberg.
okay, but I say because just Lex Luthor is great. I think the problem this movie had is that like here's the thing. Shout out to them to the trailer because the movie is nothing like the trailer. Like they made you
Right.
seem like everyone coming back is what starts this whole thing,
Yeah.
which I guess that was a nice fake there on their part. But you know when you get to more, which where Icarus is the bad guy, which I think was the right call to make. Um,
Yes.
the deviants just fell away.
Yeah.
Obviously, they gave us some good action pieces, like the Amazon action pieces were really cool. But then the main deviant, I can't remember his name. I know he had a name.
Did he?
Yeah,
Did he have a
obviously,
name?
yeah, he has a name. I forget what it
Wow.
is. Like the problem is, um, obviously, I felt bad for them because they are a creation of Arishma.
Arishem.
Irisham, excuse me. They are a creation of them, which was kind of like I made them to do all this stuff. Like, oh, I feel bad for them because like they don't really have a life of their own. Now, granted, they look like monsters, but
Yeah.
um, but he made a good
Yeah.
point. Like, look, we're just fodder to them. Like this isn't fair that you've killed all my people and we just want to live. But then his final scene, he just gets patched just like that. He's done. He just gets his head chopped off or whatever happened. No, she
But a
just sliced
great.
it up.
Yeah, she sliced
Uh,
it up.
but
Which
no,
was a
that
cool scene, but not really do
yeah,
much in terms of like saying anything.
yeah, it
Again,
was.
from the
Yeah.
trailers, it made it seem like it was a bigger.
It made it seem like he was the bad guy. Like
Yeah.
throughout this
Yeah.
whole movie, like, it made it seem like the deviant. What that dude was the bad
And
guy.
I'm glad
Oh,
he
thank,
wasn't.
thank God.
I'm
Thank
glad
God.
he
Yeah.
wasn't.
I'm with you guys.
And so, because I thought the deviants looked okay. I mean, like when they had all the ones that could fly and a really wolf-looking one, I thought they were really cool. I thought one of the parts of this movie I wasn't gonna like is, obviously the use of the CGI bad guy, but they didn't look that bad. Honestly, that's why I thought the movie got such a low score. Because I didn't read any reviews or anything. I'm like, oh, the CGI bad guys must have been really bad, but they were fine. It was okay. But they were just a
Yeah.
plot point. That's all they were. That they didn't really enrich the story.
Yeah. For me, and since we're like kind of getting here towards the end, is the heart of this movie is the like ethical question that all the Eternals have different opinions on. Like they
Mm.
spend an hour and a half still debating what the right thing to do is because we skipped those earlier, but it's unveiled halfway through that the Eternals are obviously vessels of Arishem. They go to planet, um, growing a celestial seed. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, the celestial seed is there, and they just enrich it.
Yeah, and they enrich it by spending time cultivating and letting people like evolve and be that energy somehow feeds into the seed. This part was for me was not so clear about how that works, but I don't know. People becoming smarter and more intelligent ends up feeding into the celestial seed, and then
I think it
genocide
was.
happens.
Sorry, I think it was more along the lines of the only way to grow the human population is for them to evolve into higher
Right.
beings. So the more of the population that there is, the easier it is for the celestial to come out of the place.
And so the question then becomes: is that right or wrong? Obviously, people in the Eternals are the characters are arguing that, well, if we let the celestial be born, it'll lead to billions, trillions of life across the universe. And others argue, well, what about the life that's here now? And of course, Kingo's valet is a nice reminder of that, and Phastos' son is of course another reminder. And that I think is what makes that movie so strong. Um, I think the answer is clearer here than anything in Civil War. I don't know if I would agree with anything that Icarus is saying. Like I think the value of life that's here now and exists now is probably more important than a potential future life.
Yeah, but
I don't know if you
you're biased.
agree there.
You're biased.
Totally
No,
biased.
it's not. The ends don't justify the means, man.
I don't know. Maybe they do.
You just want cool Superman powers.
No, I want the opposite of that. Nobody should. Nobody deserves cool Superman powers.
Except Superman.
No, not even Superman.
Why not?
just because we never know what his true intentions are.
He shows them all the time.
We'll see about that.
Nope, we don't.
Good,
We
good,
know.
good depictions for Superman show it all the time.
We'll see
I'll
about
say that much.
Uh,
Anyway,
Ethan brings in a good thought in the chat. I guess Thanos was trying to delay the emergence. Do we think that this is true?
was he?
Because if we recall correctly, Thanos is. This is just me. I literally just looked this up 2 minutes ago. Thanos is not an eternal. Is not an eternal, but he's also not a deviant. Sorry,
He's a
he
Titan.
is. He's both actually.
That was just a dude from Titan.
Yeah,
No,
he's a Titan.
no. Well, I mean, listen, man. I looked it up, and
Where'd you look it up at?
Polygon is
Cool.
saying that
I mean,
his
Thanos is
genetics, an eternal getting a deviant-like mutation, was later dubbed deviant syndrome, or the way Thanos looks with his purple skin and rigid chin.
That's a bit of a reach.
Okay.
I'm gonna-
I think Thanos is just a Titan. It was just a dude who, wanted some power
All
to
right.
help his. He wanted to help his planet out initially, then that didn't work out, and he just saw how that affected his planet, and he just wants to, quote unquote, save the universe
Well,
from his
Yeah.
point of view. So
Because Titan had overpopulation. He's like, we got fucked up. Like this ruined our entire planet, and overpopulation is a problem all across the universe. So I'm gonna fix that.
right. But the reason why I bring this up is, of course, the end credit scene where we see.
Hold that for just a second.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because we're about to get there.
Okay.
I think we've kind of answered most of the things that I had to say about Eternals. One thing we didn't really talk about was the celestial seed emerging from the earth, which I think is just like a visually stunning scene. The way it ends too, like in the Indian Ocean, there's just like a face and a hand coming out, and that's gonna stay on Earth, aka Terran or whatever it's called in the MCU, like forever. Like that exists in the MCU, and let's just take a moment to appreciate how fucking cool that is.
It's very fucking cool.
Like who knows? For all we know, there could be a moment where like a Quinjet is flying over the Indian Ocean, and you see the fucking hand from the stuff that happened in Eternals. That shit. That's why the MCU is cool, man. Like
Yeah.
history in the MCU, that rocks. Shout out to Icarus as well for the story about him flying too close to the sun was actually Sprite, who was just fucking around as a kid.
yeah,
and-
I
and
love
telling- yeah.
that those like Athena. Obviously, probably Gilgamesh is the inspiration behind the tale of Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was the
So,
tale that she was telling.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
The Epic of
that
Gilgamesh.
was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And then also I found a powerful moment to be when Icarus like can't really live with himself after they complete the Unimind and they stop Tiamat. He just can't live with himself after all that and trying to
flies
stop the
into the
Eternals, and so he
sun.
flies into the sun. Beautiful
Insanity.
sequence, I thought. Yeah.
Insanity.
And then of course in the final scenes, Arishem returns to take the Eternals, in which I thought was a fantastic scene when you see like they're all at the park in London, and like you just see his face like thousands of miles away, but he's still like this huge figure, and he just takes the Eternals. Absolutely phenomenal. And I think that's where about the movie ends, with the other Eternals being like, "Yo, these guys haven't contacted
What
us."
a
It's been
weird
days."
shot to end it on Dane's face. I thought it was really weird that they ended the movie on Kit Harington's face just looking up into the sky.
I thought it was kind of daunting a little bit.
I thought
The
it
fact
was
that like a Celestial will be back eventually, and we get like the human perspective.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that. That's a good point.
I thought it was just like, listen, man, I just got her back, and now you guys
fucked up.
are taking her away. And I thought it was a great way to end it. Just him, like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
I know what
because-
he's gonna do.
We'll see what he's gonna do.
For me, what makes the MCU so fascinating is that it always goes back to the people on Earth, whether it's heroes or civilians. And so to have like this looming threat of a Celestial coming back to like lay judgment is both really exciting and also terrifying at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's why I thought I liked the ending. I can understand why it's kind of a weird shot though. Like Kit Harington isn't in the movie that much, so like to have him be the last scene, I understand why it's a little weird. Okay. This then puts us at the post-credit scenes. Let's start with the first one, of course, with Harry Styles finally confirmed. Also, fuck you to the guy Variety. I was so mad that everyone in the theater popped, and I'm just like, yeah, this is something I saw. Otherwise, Harry Styles as Arrows.
This is what he leaked?
Yes. Harry Styles confirmed as the brother of Thanos, Arrows / Star Fox.
Sure. Okay.
Wow, they got Pip.
The god of sex.
Okay. As a guy who had no idea who the hell this guy was in the theaters, and you just hear girls screaming out loud, I was like, okay, cool.
Dude, all the girls in my theater pop. I mean, I kind of popped too because it's fucking Harry Styles, man.
I have no idea who that is.
What?
I'm an old man.
You're
I'm an old
younger-
man.
you're
I am
younger
an
than me,
old
man.
man. I don't know who the hell Harry Styles is.
He
but
did
good
One
for
Direction,
him.
man.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yes.
I think the craziest thing was that Pip showed up in the beginning. I was like,
Yes.
oh my god, it's Pip.
Patton Oswalt coming back.
Like-
That's a voice I can recognize, you know?
Yeah.
It was one of those where it's like he should have been a major thing in Infinity War because that's what he is in the Infinity Gauntlet comic. He was a herald of Thanos, and so when he talked about Thanos, I'm like, oh my god! But at first, when I saw those colors, I'm like, oh my god, we're getting multiverse shit right now. This is about to happen because all
Yeah.
the colors when they came through.
How
Right,
crazy
so-
would it have been if it was just Josh Brolin as his brother, too? Could you imagine? As Thanos' brother? Come on.
I don't know. I like it. I don't know.
No,
'Cause for me,
I'm not
Harry
saying like again. Harry Styles was that's pretty cool. Like it's Thanos' brother. I got a little hyped up when I heard that. But like, just imagine if it was just Josh Brolin. You know,
Why? I don't. We
just
already got
because
Josh Brolin.
Thanos
I don't need
is
him
Josh
again.
Brolin. You know, why not?
Yeah, it's not Thanos though. It's his brother.
I know, but yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because the Titans. There are a bunch of different type of Titans, so
Yeah.
it's not beyond the realm of possibility that Harry Styles is Thanos' brother. Like it's not.
Yeah.
I love the fact that old man Ruben here is like, oh fuck yeah, Patton Oswalt is Pip. I recognize that
Exactly.
voice. Who the
Yes.
fuck is this white boy?
Yeah, like who the hell is this guy? I know Patton Oswalt from a bunch of stuff. I don't know who Harry Styles is.
I had a few people ask why it's exciting that Harry Styles is in the MCU, and for me, if you've seen Dunkirk, we've gotten to see what Harry Styles' acting chops can kind of look like. That's more of a subdued role. He doesn't have many speaking
only
lines,
role
but he
I've
does
ever
play. What?
I said the only Nolan movie I've ever seen.
The only one.
You've never seen?
I've never seen. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Never seen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a quieter role, so I wanted to see more what Harry Styles can actually do behind the camera, and then we get this scene of him, and he's like, dude is absolutely charismatic as fuck. Like this man, like he just looks like he's ready to get his fuck on with anyone in the MCU, and like his line delivery is fantastic. So to get him in any future installment of whatever the Eternals do next, if there are going to be more Eternals movies, I think is very cool.
I think the first one sets up more Eternal stuff, but the second one I think sets up a broader MCU stuff.
Now,
Oh my god! I'm
Before
ready
we-
to talk about this second.
before we get into
Yes,
the second
dude.
one, I need Eric. Could you give me background information on Arrows?
I don't know
besides
much
what-
about. I don't know much
He's
about
an
him, man.
Eternal and the god of sex or something.
Like I honestly don't know much about him.
Okay, well, the God of Sex stuff kind of matches up with what was given to us. Okay,
Yes.
that makes more sense. Bringing it back to Thanos. I'm sorry, we have to bring it back to Thanos. Like, if he's the brother of Thanos, like, how is Thanos also not an Eternal or a Deviant? You know?
Well, his comic counterpart could be. No, wait, he is an Eternal. Never mind. I just remembered now. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows, man?
Brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Well, no, because he said there weren't brothers-in-law.
I don't know.
I mean,
Okay,
I have
alright.
a sister. I have a sister-in-law. I'm gonna call her my sister now. Hey, sister-in-law, how are you doing?
Well, again, no, that's not what was said. He said he was the brother. He didn't say brother-in-law of Thanos, but yeah, okay. Let's get to the second.
he could have.
maybe
He
they
could
will
have gone to
explain it in the
Titan.
next thing. Yeah,
Okay.
Hey, babe. What's up?
or half brother. I'm sure they'll explain it in the next thing. They'll
Yeah.
have to explain it
Yeah.
eventually. Yeah.
He could have, if he's an Eternal, he could have gone to Titan. He could be an adopted brother, stuff like that. He could have lived on Titan for a bit.
You're right. This is true.
Gamora's his daughter.
So it's true.
Okay.
She's green.
The
He's
fi-
purple.
Yeah.
Yes,
That also
yes.
doesn't make any sense. Okay.
I have a story to tell you guys that you'll laugh at me for the second post-credit scene.
Okay.
Final scene. I should have done more research on this. I'm sorry. Kit Harington. Maybe Eric can fill in some gaps here. Kit Harington, of course, alluding earlier that he has got some family history that he didn't know about, and we see him
No,
opening
he
up.
did know about.
Oh, they did. No, what he found out about, right?
No. He said he knew. Like, I've been holding a secret this whole time too.
He said but then he says, "Turns out I've got."
Right, but he said
Right?
she was holding on to her eternal secret, and he was like, "Well, I have one too. I've been holding on to one too." So he knew that he was a Black
Dang.
Knight, whatever the hell that is.
I totally thought he found out about it like later on, but
I don't
you're
think so.
probably right.
You could be right.
That's
You
what
could be
it's-
wrong.
That's what it
I
may
could be
seem
wrong.
like, because he's like, I've learned my family history is a bit complicated.
Oh,
So,
this guy's a
Either way,
Black Knight
we
too?
see him opening up a coffin, and in there
Mhm.
is some like weird, freaky deaky sword with some writing on it.
It's
And
an
I don't
ebony
know what's
blade.
going.
I thought it was
Ebony
Venom,
blade.
a substance on there, and I was like,
Mm.
"Oh shit, this guy's turning
No.
into Venom."
No, it's the ebony blade. It's a very ancient marble artifact. According to this, just to give you like the ebony blade was enchanted to cut through any object, prevent death to its wielder, and deflect any magic, but it also carried a curse that would slowly corrupt any user and cause a lust for violence, bloodshed, and death.
Fuck! I'm getting excited just hearing Eric describe the fucking sword. And he's
And like,
opening the.
and when he speaks Latin, I thought that was really cool
Yes.
too. Like hearing the voices.
Yes.
But
Also, I'm very.
that's not the sexiest part of this.
I agree. I agree.
Oh,
Also, I got so excited that like, thank God Kit Harington isn't just going to be a one-off romance. Like I wanted more of him in the MCU, so I'm happy we are going to get more of him. And then you hear a voice coming out from the side saying, "You sure you're ready for that?"
Mm-hmm.
And here's where my story kicks in before we actually say it.
okay, go.
All right. So after that happens, the guys behind me stand up and they're like, "Whoa, who was that? I don't recognize that voice. I don't think I've ever heard that before." And in my head, I'm thinking who it is, who it obviously is. And with my whole dead ass, bro, with my whole chest, I said, "Oh yeah, that's Idris Elba." Knowing full well that in my head I'm picturing Mahershala Ali. Like, oh, that's Blade stuff, and yet I said Idris Elba, and then walked away. I felt so smart, and then I got to my car, and I was like, oh, fuck, I said Idris, not Mahershala. It's Mahershala Ali, baby.
Don't feel bad. I was at a parade once, and I saw someone dressed up as Jango Fett, and I accidentally called him Boba Fett, thinking I was right.
I mean,
I
they're the
get
same
what you
You're
mean,
person,
man.
technically
aren't they?
right.
Oh, my,
yeah.
you come on, guys. You know what I mean. But like,
Do
yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's Boba Fett. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, that's freaking Jango Fett. I felt so bad. So I understand what you mean.
I don't know if that's the
Blade.
same thing.
All this
No.
to say, please don't cancel me. We're getting fucking Blade stuff. I'm so
Listen,
excited.
I was the only person in the theater to realize who the fuck it was. And I said it out loud, but then I kept myself quiet. I was like, holy shit, that's Blade. And then everybody was like, what the fuck is Nick Fury doing here? And I was like, no, it's not Nick Fury.
He's got such a distinct
It's
voice.
Blade.
How can you?
It's Blade.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. It's fucking Blade.
It makes sense. It's the
And I
ebony
got
blade.
so
Like,
fucking hype, man. So hype.
It
Let's
makes
hope
so much
Morbius
sense.
isn't it.
Yeah.
Ugh. Why'd you have to take me down?
I'm just saying. Well, Venom might be in fucking
No,
Spider-Man.
Stop.
Maybe
That's
more.
not true.
But
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
it's really exciting because like obviously this is like some weird supernatural freaky deaky stuff that Blade obviously be a part of, and it's just so exciting just to get a little taste of what Blade could possibly be.
Little taste.
Like it's
Yeah.
incredible, and especially there's all this stuff going out there potentially doing a Midnight Suns thing in the MCU that's going to have the Wolfman and Ghost Rider, and I'm like, oh my god, like I love the crazy superhero celestial stuff. I'm really excited for all the supernatural potential horror shit we can get with the MCU. That's some of the best stuff.
We're getting vampires in Moon Knight. Cannot be more excited for that. That's like supposed to be the introduction of Mahershala Ali's Blade. Is supposed to be in Moon Knight supposedly. And then
Right.
after that, if we get the Blade movie with him, Kit Harington, fuck, that might be like top tier MCU. Oh my god, I'm getting excited.
I think it's gonna be
Oh
top tier
my
MCU
God.
regardless because Mahershala Ali is just oh man, he's so
Phenomenal.
good.
Phenomenal. So
And then What's up?
Was there something else that you wanted to bring up?
There was. No, I don't remember. So please.
I'm sorry. I wanted to bring back to the Celestial I was talking about, Eric.
That's what it was.
Now, I was also doing some research again, and the person that I thought of was obviously Galactus. Now, did some research, and it turns out he's not a Celestial, but he kind of is, but he's kind of not, you know?
He's just a big old hungry boy.
The reason why I brought this up was because we had seen in a previous movie, I don't remember which one, I want to say that this was Guardians. We had seen a clip of a Celestial that looked very similar to Galactus, if I'm not mistaken.
I forget what the name is, but that wasn't Galactus.
No, I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying it looked very similar.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because I remember when we saw, I think it was pre No Time to Die.
Yeah.
They showed the final trailer for Eternals, and my buddy was like, "Is that
Mm.
Galactus?" When we're looking at Airship, I'm like, "Oh no, it's the Celestial," but I can see why with like the
Yeah.
super crazy headpiece.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, it's wild. Like we're gonna get Celestials and all that stuff now. This is maybe we'll get the Living Tribunal and all that's the crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like all the gods in the MCU, which is wild.
Which brings me to my updated theory. And maybe, we see now you kind of like canceled it out, but I'm going to stick with Galactus as an actual Celestial. And
Oh.
we've been brought up, obviously Loki has brought up that Kang the Conqueror is going to be the main villain in Phase 4 or Phase 5 or whichever one it is. But, what if they're working together? What if?
Possibly.
What if?
I have no idea what we're leading up to. Like, there's so many strands the MCU's going in, and like, I'm down for all of them.
I think if so, I think Kang would be a herald of Galactus. I think Galactus is
Yes.
way too powerful to
Right.
be.
That's what I meant.
Hey, is anything is gonna be better than the Cloud we got in Fantastic Four: Rise of Silver Surfer?
Ugh. Don't remind me.
Speaking of theories, with Shang-Chi being probably the most OP Avenger now. I mean, Captain Marvel's up there as well, I'm sure.
Thor.
But
I mean-
I think Shang is in that worthy of being in that discussion of like top strongest Avengers.
Also, I'm sorry to cut in here, Christian. Also, kind of like strengthens my theory. If we remember correctly, that end credit scene was the fucking 10 Rings was blipping out a message to the universe.
Yes.
Who was that message going to? Boom, Galactus. I rest my case.
I don't know, but I want to see Shang fight a Celestial.
That would be
said it.
awesome. Yes.
And Jordans. He's got to do it in Jordans
Yes,
again.
of course.
So
Oh yeah, in space Jordans though, because you
Also-
also in space.
I want to correct
Jordan's
myself.
face.
People were not saying that it was Nick Fury. People were saying that it was the Watcher from What If.
Kind of reminds me when you saw it reminds me of my first Avengers screening when they showed Thanos. Everyone thought it was Hellboy.
Ugh.
So that was fun.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts here before we move on to our rankings here? Eternals, great movie, bit messy, fantastic entry in the MCU. I love it more as I get more distance from it. I'm not quite ready to watch it again, but I'm very excited to eventually see it again and see how my thoughts progress. Otherwise,
think-
very strong top mid tier.
Yeah. For me, I think all my problems with the movie are technical. I think artistry. I think this movie is one of the best, but I like it's brought down by its technical problems for me. So,
There was
which
one,
was not a bad thing. It's just some execution was bad.
there was one scene where the CGI like kind of fucked me over, and it was Cersei was on the hand of the Celestial after she turned it into stone or whatever. And I was like, oh no, this looks really
Yeah.
really bad.
Unfortunately, there's no real life locations of Celestials
That we know of so far.
that we know of. Yeah. Sadly, no Stan Lee cameo here for Ruben to rank,
That's okay.
so I gotta hand the mic over to Eric.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been a while, but it's time to rank those villains, which we have an interesting one here. We'll get into it after I do our ranking right now. Ruben, I have to ask. It's been a sec. Should we do all 14?
Yes,
Has
I
to
have
do
it.
it.
I
Has
have
to
it
do it.
scrolling up on the screen. So yes, let's
Okay,
do
all
it.
right. Just a reminder, everyone, it's been a sec. We're gonna go through our 14 villains real quick. We got number 14, Malekith Curse from Thor: The Dark World. 13, Abomination Thunderbolt Ross from The Incredible Hulk. Number 12, Whiplash / Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2. Number 11, Darren Cross from Ant-Man. Number 10, Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3. Number 9, Ronan the Accuser from Guardians 1. Number 8, Tony himself, Obadiah Stane from Iron Man. Number 7, Ultron from Age of Ultron. Number 6, Red Skull from Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 5, Taskmaster / Dreykov from Black Widow. Number 4, Loki from Thor. Number 3, Loki from Avengers. Number 2, Winter Soldier from Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And number 1, Wenwu from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So, interesting thing here is, what are we putting here? Are we putting that Icarus? And who is the antagonist of this movie?
If I can butt in here, I would really appreciate it if we just kept this as Icarus. Like, yeah, sure, the deviants
Oh,
were. Oh no!
Like,
Oh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Ho, 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 ho. You almost
what?
caught me slipping there. I'm gonna say Icarus and Aramesh.
Yep, I agree with Ruben 100% as
Yeah,
well.
I
let's leave
think
the deviants out of this.
I think because the deviants are from Ereshkigal, so Ereshkigal is the one who put them there. So I
Right.
think
Mhm.
Ereshkigal Icarus is a good one. So what are we thinking, Ruben? I'm gonna start with you. With the list we have right now, where do you think Ereshkigal / Icarus is gonna go?
Wow. Okay, I hold the power. I'm gonna go with a.
Well, you hold 1/3 of the power.
Well, I hold the power right now. I'm gonna go with a strong number 11, above Darren Cross.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna. The reason why, of course, sure, the Arishem was like, oh, you gotta feed the humans to,
Mhm,
Tiamat. But, like,
mhm,
eh, you know, it wasn't that
mhm,
great. It could have been. Oh, I'm sorry. No, let's go above. Sorry, not number 11, number 10,
okay.
above Aldrich Killian, just because
Okay.
I can't, you know,
Mhm,
nothing. Their thoughts and reasonings behind what they're doing is nothing better than Ronin, but I can't
mhm,
really like put Ronin below them.
mhm, mhm. All right, Christian, what do you think?
I'm thinking a new number 8, right above Obadiah, but below Ultron. I think for the most part of the movie, I would have gone lower, but the fact that the Eternals kind of change Arishem's mind and that he comes back and says, you know what? I'm going to give humanity a chance. We'll see how they do now, and then I will come back for judgment. Like that, I think is interesting enough as a villain to be like, okay, let's see how they do, and then I'll give judgment. Like that idea is kind of interesting to me, enough to raise it a bit higher than anything Aldrich does, and certainly I think it's more interesting than Ronan for me.
Mhm.
Sorry, and then Obadiah as well. Even though I love Obadiah, you know me.
Um, I think for me, like, obviously the celestial Ereshkigal is very kind of one-dimensional. He's, a supreme being of the universe. He
Yeah.
has a very logical, this is what I'm going to do. And I think Icarus brought that third dimension into this, where it's like he's been part of the team. He loves these people. That's why it really hurts him. And so for me, I have him right above Red Skull, I think.
Wow.
Amazing.
Because of that third dimension, what he brought to all the characters. It's just like how I thought with Taskmaster and Dreykov. That was very important to Natasha. Like that affected Natasha personally. It wasn't just like this world-ending event like Ultron and stuff. Like it was personal, and that's why I think like Icarus betraying everybody was very personal to everyone. And they're upset with him because you got all these people. You got Kingo in the hallway saying, "Hey, I'll follow you to the end of the line." And then, that's when we find out that Icarus is not that great of a person.
No.
Oh,
And
that's
that's when we go into
right.
the
It
flashback and he'll go, I'll follow you till the end of the line.
That
And
phrase triggered his memory. Oh, you're right.
and I think that depth of this character is what puts him above Red Skull for me. And I think that's where I'm going to put him. Um, so,
Ruben, I think Eric's convincing me here.
Okay.
because I think all the other characters, like Obadiah, like obviously we love Tony, but obviously, like he was just a CEO, just wanted to make some money
Yeah.
off of Tony.
Yeah. He's kind
Like
of like.
Ultron, while the performance by James Spader was great, "Oh, I just want to kill humanity because I just was on the internet for 5 minutes." So
Red Skull's, I think his fantastic, his performance is really good as well, but his motivations, I guess, are pretty one-dimensional as well, and that
yeah,
he's just kind of just his power for power's sake.
Here's the
yeah.
thing.
Icarus really elevates it, man.
You had me, but I just can't put him like above Ultron.
Okay,
Just
that's fine.
because like you think the two greatest minds in the world plus an AI that was created by one of the greatest minds of the world. Like the reasoning behind of what they're doing is wholehearted and pure.
Mhm.
But just for it to turn the darkest turn that it could possibly take, I don't know if I can put it. I don't know if I could put these two above Ultron.
Okay. I mean,
I,
that's
I,
fine.
I see your reasoning and I love it, but I don't know if I could put it above Ultron.
Hey, man, it's okay. It's all right. If we all had the same opinion, this would be a boring show.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
So I willing.
I'm willing to put it the new number 8.
Okay, I'll take it. That's fine. Arsham's one dimension, like the celestialness. I have to consider the deviants too. I know we don't want to, but I have to consider the deviants were part of this mess. So, yeah, we'll go new number 8 right here.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Our new number 8 is Arsham and Icarus from Eternals.
Fantastic.
Give me 1 second. Hold on.
I don't want to.
I don't want to
How
go.
long do we have? He's so freaking. His jaw was like chiseled
Dude.
by Michelangelo or something. Jeez.
I want to see Eternals again just for like the performances from everyone.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. This is taking a long time. Hold on. I'm almost done. I promise.
Are you updating the graphic?
Yes, I am.
Tell you what, while Ruben's doing that, I do not understand the takes that this is like worse than Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, it's
I
wild.
don't.
Listen, I hated that movie.
Like Thor: The Dark World should be one that's like at 48%. Like Incredible Hulk should be down there that low. So I did see a take where it's like it's wild that the MCU is just not getting to like this 48% because there's been a bunch of MCU movies that have kind of deserved this, and I'm like, I get it. I just think, yeah, and
Very.
it's wild because like the audience score for this movie is really wild. Like it's high. It's very high up
Mhm.
there. Like I didn't have a single person walk out of the theater when I watched it. So I guess like,
To be honest, I just think some people. I mean, it's a wildly different MCU movie than what we're used to. So for, I don't want to overgeneralize, but I think there are a lot of people who just had different expectations as to what we're about to get on screen.
Mm,
I just I know what Chloe
mm.
Zhao movies are like, so I knew what expectations to have in. So
I
if you
haven't
didn't
said
have those,
yeah. I haven't said this quote in a while, but Scott Derrickson, director of Doctor Strange, had a great thing when talking about reviewing movies. Review the movie for what it is, not what you want it to be.
Yeah.
good point. Yeah,
So,
I like Doctor Strange. I like the visuals.
Okay. The graphic has been updated.
all right, thank you, my friend.
No problem.
All right, Christian, it's your time to shine.
Yes, I have been dreading this for a minute, but here we are. We are ranking the Marvel movies so far. Now, let me catch you up on our current list of ranking of the MCU. Number 14, The Incredible Hulk. Number 13, Thor: The Dark World, and I think those are going to stay down there as well. Number 12, Thor. Number 11, Iron Man 2. Number 10, Iron Man 1. Number 9, Iron Man 3. Number 8, Black Widow. Number 7, Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 6, Ant Man. Number 5, Captain America the First Avenger. Number 4, The Avengers. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 2, love to see it, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And number 1, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Oh, it's going to be so tough to put it somewhere. Let's start with Eric here.
Right now, I have it above Black Widow.
Wow.
Above. That is surprising.
I think the more I've thought about this, like a Black Widow was a fun movie to watch. I'm not denying that. It was very personal. This is a character that should have had this movie years ago.
Could have had a better,
Uh,
fill in, but
we know. They are number 5 on the villain scale.
yeah, but
So,
not because
um, I think, and I liked Shang-Chi a lot. I still think Shang-Chi so far is my favorite movie, but the more I've come away from this movie, it is a very beautiful movie about humanity. It's just a shame that there's a lot of technical execution issues that I have with it. I hope Chloe Zhao does a movie again. I would love her maybe do a Disney Plus show. I don't know. Just
Hmm.
give her money to make stuff because she's really good at this stuff.
She's
So
working on Dracula next.
I, hey, take another, do something else. I love monsters. I'm ready to see what she does with that. So, for me, I have it right above Black Widow because I think the performances are better than Black Widow's. But yeah, that's where I got new number 8 for me on this list.
Fantastic. How about you, Ruben?
Christian, I'm sorry. You're going to have to go first.
Okay. That's fair. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm still debating on
Okay.
what it is.
This is hard for me because listen, you know me, love me some Paul Rudd. I love Ant-Man. There's a lot to love in Avengers Age of Ultron, and I do think Eternals has issues, but the further I get away from it, the more I like really appreciate the conversations and like the Eternals have, and like the way that movie focuses on relationships and the way they kind of struggle with humanity and like how that relates to everyone on Earth, not just like who we care about in the MCU. Like that for me is elevates it higher than anything that Age of Ultron and Ant-Man does, even though I think those films are probably a lot better to rewatch. So for me, it's a new number 6, right above Ant-Man, below
I'm
Captain America: The First Avenger.
perfectly fine with that. That's a solid point.
Wow. Wow. And here we are. Oof. I don't know. My heart is beating so fast right now.
It's hard.
I
How do you compare
don't know
these?
where to put this. So, let's start off with number 1. I'm going to go down the list just a little bit just because I need to for
Yeah,
the
sure.
mind process to go. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I'm sorry. There's no beating that. Shang-Chi. Sorry, Shang-Chi. I don't know if you can beat that either, you know? Guardians
Well,
of the
Winter Soldier
Galaxy.
did.
Well, I meant like Eternals
I,
could be that.
I'm making a joke.
Okay.
My bad.
Oh, got it.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I was talking shit about Guardians of the Galaxy before, but I don't know. Uh, there
Got a lot of
was
heart.
it's got a lot of heart, and the cast is a smaller cast, but like it makes me Guardians of the Galaxy makes me care about that group of you know people more. Uh, this movie, I didn't really have that much of a pull towards the cast. Like I liked them a lot, but like there was no emotional tugs. The Avengers, well, the Avengers has its faults. I don't know if we can top the Avengers. Captain America, oof, I don't know. Ant-Man, it's interesting.
He's about to break your heart, Christian.
It's okay.
It is okay. It is okay because again, this movie is very left field for the MCU. So it is what it is. I'm sorry, Christian, and I'm sorry, Eric.
Listen, I
No,
also love Ant-Man.
It's
I
okay, man.
understand.
it doesn't beat Ant-Man. I'm sorry. Paul Rudd is by far the funniest we've ever seen. You know, in the MCU, like Paul Rudd can't. His comedy in the MCU is just subpar to none. Avengers: Age of Ultron. I don't know. I couldn't put, Airmesh and Icarus above Ultron, so I'm sorry, it's got to go. Black Widow. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Now, while Black Widow is definitely a movie we needed, my faults with that movie, I think the villain definitely let this movie fall lower than it should have been, but that's okay because we got some kind of closure for Natasha. So, unfortunately, Black Widow is safe for now.
You get the rose.
Iron Man 3. Now, for those that know me, I think Iron Man 3 is probably the better of the sequels just because of the greatest twist that the MCU has ever given us,
Okay.
I just don't know if Iron Man 3 is a better movie than The Eternals. So, with that being said, this is my new number 9.
So you're voting for
I'm putting it under Black Widow,
above
above
Iron
Iron
Man.
Man 3.
Okay. And Eric had it above Black Widow. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. You have it above Ant-Man.
Okay. Which was tough. It was a tough sell for me too. When
Mhm.
even when Ruben was talking, I was like, do I want it there? Would you guys want to average it out?
I think averaging it out possibly is the fair way to do this.
I think so.
So when I divide, if I'm doing it right, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Should be 6.
There would be 15 different spots, right?
Mhm.
So 15 divided by our number, and I get 0.65, 0.652.
Okay.
I don't know
That
if you want to round up or round
brings it,
down.
I would say, just leave it there. It brings it between 6 and 7, so it's a new number 7.
Okay. You guys okay with right below Ant-Man, right above Avengers Age of Ultron?
That's fine. Like, yeah.
I guess.
Type it in, Eric. I see you. I see you typing.
Oh,
Let me
all
recap
right.
you with our new top 10 MCU Rewind. Number 10, Iron Man 3. Number 9, Black Widow. Number 8, Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 7, The Eternals. Congrats. Number 6, Ant-Man. Number 5, Captain America the First Avenger. Number 4, The Avengers. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 2, Shang-Chi. And number 1, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Fantastic. We did it, guys.
There we have it. It's been updated
God,
already.
what a list.
Mm-hmm.
What a series the MCU is. You know what I mean?
15
Amazing.
movies down. How many more to go, guys?
11.
11
Yeah.
more. Plus,
No, not 11 more. There's a
There's like
yeah.
10 or 11.
Yeah,
Something like that.
this
There's
was
like
the
26 movies
26th.
now, right?
Yeah, this is the 26th. So yeah, I guess we got 11 more to
Soon
go.
to be 27 with Spider-Man No Way
Oh
Home.
my god.
and you know what? If Spider-Man No Way Home doesn't get number 1, this podcast is canceled. But that's neither
I
here
can't
nor
believe
there.
we're gonna rank Spider-Man No Way Home before any of the other Spider-Man. That's gonna rock. I digress. That is it for MCU Rewind. Thank you so much for those of you joining us. Let's start with plugs. We'll do Eric first.
Hi everybody. So naturally, like I said, fresh new dad, so don't got a lot of time for really anything else. So this is probably the only thing I'm going to be doing going forward. So please like, subscribe here, Penultimate, so we can keep making this awesome show. Again, Marvel Mondays Initiative is my favorite thing I've ever done, other than make Ruby and marry Tessa.
That's saying a lot. He's got a
Uh,
Destiny podcast.
so that won't be for a while. I don't have really any time for Destiny right now. But yeah, just support this channel, please. We do a lot of great work here. We got a lot of great stuff. Got a lot of great people, and it would mean a lot if you just subscribe to us. You get a free Amazon Prime subscription, so please consider using that for us. And just keep donating for this extra life stuff. It goes to a great cause, and it's good to be back with these guys. I have missed them very much. And they are brothers to me now, even though I want to make Ruben cry. But yeah, I've missed these two a lot, and please keep supporting them and all that they do, because they deserve it and much more than that. So yeah, I'm so happy to be back, and let's keep making good stuff.
We're the Eternals. That's who we are.
Hmm.
Will always be here.
I'm gonna save Ruben for last. You can find me at ISO Christian over on Twitter, where I'm talking about who knows what. Yeah, maybe I'll update my LinkedIn. Otherwise, you can find me over at my movie podcast, Large Popcorn Pod, that on Twitter. Some cool episodes coming out. French Dispatch episode tomorrow, and then next week it might be Last Night in Soho. We haven't decided what recording is yet, but be on the lookout for those. I do a weekly gaming podcast every Wednesday at Podcast PXN. Tune into there. And then for the Penultimate Conquest, I do monthly video essays. Just started doing that. We have a recent one on the PS1 drum and bass music. Very cool episode, I thought, but I'm also biased. There should be another one coming out in about another 2 weeks or so. It's supposed to be next week, but see if I can get it done in time.
Nah. I think it's not next week. It's 2 weeks.
The third Thursday is what I aim for every month, but
Oh shoot,
may,
we're in
I
the
mean,
second
I may
week.
need,
No, that doesn't really count. Oh shoot, yeah, it does.
yeah,
Whoa.
I may need to push it to Thanksgiving weekend, but I got a lot of projects going on right now.
Yeah,
But
that's fine. You know,
yeah,
you have
we'll see.
creative freedom here. Okay, you do whatever you
I
want.
did it.
Um,
Like yours.
I'm stalling because I had sent Eric a text message and I don't know if he gotten it yet. Ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folk, we are Venom. No, let me stop.
I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morby.
Oh man, what a fucking trailer. God. No, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Ethan, for being in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you, Bottom Fraggers Pod, for the follow again. Thank you all for joining us on this crazy ride we call the Marvel Mondays Initiative. We are supposed to be figuring out what's next, Eric, as I'm reading these words out of my mouth. Check your goddamn messages, sir.
I did. So I think Tessa said that it is okay if I do it. So obviously, I would love to keep doing this every Monday because I know we got some more shows. We got a few movies we can do. Then we got Hawkeye coming up, which we're all very excited for.
Yes.
And then we got still my most anticipated movie of the year. We got a new poster yesterday. I can't believe.
Oh, Matrix.
Yeah. Oh, we said it twice, Hugo. We got one more time, and then you come bust through the wall. So yeah, we got a new poster. I've already trying to break it down so many ways from Sunday, and everything. So yeah,
It's crazy
I'll
how we see James Franco in the background, isn't it?
real wild. It's real wild right now, but I'm gonna try to do my best to make sure we got Marvel Mondays back, everybody. So
Okay.
we're gonna be here.
All right. You
Yeah,
heard
we'll
it
let
here.
you know.
I forgot I was supposed to do plugs. Yes. So feel free to give us a sub on YouTube. We are so close to 100 subs, guys. We just
Or
need...
Dom, whatever. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
I eat it.
That's
I eat
okay.
it for my pleasure.
That's okay. We are 8 people away from getting 100 subs on YouTube, which would be phenomenal because we really could use that custom URL. So feel free to give us a sub on YouTube. Feel free to give us a like on this video if you think we were right about where Eternals should be ranked. Sorry. If you hated this movie, I'm sorry, but you have no joy in life. If you love this movie, congratulations. This was a really good movie. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ruben, and I have nothing else to say. So Cristian, take it away.
Excelsior. See you next Monday, true
Excelsior.
believers.
Bye.